back to the CayVin Universe Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us again. And if you're new to the show, welcome. My name is Vinny.
And my name is Caylin. Today we're going to be talking about some crazy facts for the Titanic. It's been 111 years, surprisingly, so we thought, why not do an episode on it, and then we're going to follow it up with some real reactions.
Oh, yes. But first, I don't know why I got the giggles.
Why?
Because what we were talking about before the podcast.
Oh.
Check out patreon.com/CayVin Universe for pre-podcast shenanigans. But yeah, that was hilarious. Anyway, we are, before we get into all that, we got our first fan question.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, I don't want to say fan question. That sounds so weird. Like, yeah, first friend question, listener question. I don't know. We got our first question of the show, and
About time.
Remember when we started this podcast, we tried to like map out the first 30 episodes, and as we're like trying to plan them out, I was like, we got to 20, and I was like, I think by episode 20 we'll do some questions. We'll do a Q&A episode.
And I was like, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Here we are, episode 106, and we got our first listener question.
Yes.
So yeah, you want to read this?
Yes, let's read it. Hey guys, been a fan of the show and listening for a couple of years. Would like to hear how you guys met. Not sure if you've already talked about it on the show or not. Sent from my iPhone.
All right. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Sent from my iPhone. Yeah, make sure you put your name, guys.
Yeah.
I guess there's always that one person's got to break the ice.
Yeah.
If you want to put your Instagram or whatever,
Yeah.
shout you out. But for now, I don't know.
I don't think we've ever talked about this, right? I think we've briefly mentioned it here and there, but we've never actually I don't know.
Yeah, we mentioned it briefly, but how would you set it up? How would you start the story? Like from your point of view. Yeah, let's do it from both of our point of views. From your point of view.
So from my point of view, it was just another day at work.
Right.
So I guess I had I don't know. See, he put me on the spot. Now I'm trying to put myself in that position. Just another day at work. We worked at HEB at the time, both of us in different departments. I was just a cashier, and he worked in loss prevention. And I volunteered to be HE buddy that day. There was a
mascot. Yeah,
the mascot. They'd put it out and who would have thought too? Because I signed up for this weeks in advance. So they're like, who wants to be HE buddy on this day? And so I responded to the little Facebook thing. I was like, oh, me. And so I was chosen, and it just so happened that there was an event going on, and Vinny over here was loss prevention. They stand at the door and stuff. I don't know if y'all's HEB or if anyone even knows what HEB is. Some of the listeners,
right.
Just a grocery store, is standing at the door. And if any of our listeners have ever experienced any sort of costume, you got some malfunctions, I guess you could say, every so often. So HE buddy, he wears big gloves, is a part of his costume. And I think my glove or something was falling off to where I needed assistance. And normally we had somebody with us to help us, kind of stay in character and stuff. But I don't know where the guy went that was walking around with me. And so I look over and I see Vinny, and I'm like, oh, should I ask him to help me? And so I did. So I remember I called him over. And I was like, hey, can you help me fix my sleeve? And I think you knew it was me under there, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know, I guess you knew, or that was just a thing too, right? That people
I
were
asked.
Yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's in the costume today, or Okay, so I figured that, yeah. And so yeah, I'm like, hey, can you help me fix my sleeve? And then how did you feel?
Yeah, I literally so were we we were
we just crossed paths.
Yeah, we were friends in passing at this point, and we were both single, and
yeah.
At that point, did you know you had already caught my eye at that point?
Yeah.
But have you
at that point? Yes, that's why I was not afraid.
Be honest.
No, I'm being honest because
were we Facebook friends? Because that's when it really started. When we really started talking on Facebook, when we added each other. I don't know. Did you add me or I added you?
I don't remember who added who. It might have been me because I was all FBI. And no, we didn't add each other until after the little the little meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess you could call it, but
yeah, cuz I always you had caught my eye because you were the cute girl that like always wore like the headband and the jacket. Like you had that like look that like
Yeah.
yeah.
That was
I
part
was like,
my jacket, my rain jacket and my headband were part of my
yeah. When
uniform.
yeah, right. Like, just it was so like cute and unique. Like I knew when the first time I looked at you, I was like, yeah, you're automatically my type.
Yeah.
That's my type.
Yeah.
But no, so I literally I'm walking around looking around at the door and I look over and I see you in this costume, this mascot waving me over, and I'm like, is she talking to me? Like it's like one of those things like you can't believe it. Like it's just, is she talking to me? And
Yeah.
then yeah, and you whispered and you're like, hey, or talk to the thing. You're like, hey, can you fix my sleeve? And I remember grabbing your arm to fix your sleeve, and I was like I don't know, I felt something.
My soft skin.
That's what it was. Because I'm always complimenting your soft skin. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
But I remember in that moment, like, and as cheesy as it sounds, like I felt like it was like a
The love at first touch.
yeah, right. It was something. It was crazy. It was like a pulse. Like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And you know what it was?
There you go.
You know what it was too, like you said, for me to be honest, and I'm going to tell you because that's just the kind of person that I am. If I had not already like had my eye on you or like spotted you or like thought like, hey, that guy's really cute, I would have been too shy, or like I would have been like not like how I was, like so easy to like call you over. Like I was comfortable enough to be like, oh, let me talk to this guy and be like, hey, can you help me? Because if I like didn't know you, I probably, or like even like seen you
we had talked
before.
in passing because basically the loss prevention too. It's like the office is right at the exit where the employees go in and out.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's like a shutter there, like a window that shuts down, but we always had the window open, so anytime anyone passed by, like we saw who it was. And I remember anytime you passed by, I like would try to spark up a conversation with you. So yeah, we knew each other in passing like that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And then I, from being at the door and walking around and, having to often deal with, theft at the registers. So the cashier's like, yeah, that's what I liked about that position. You got to know kind of everyone in every department, which was pretty cool. But what I wanted to bring up is how you said you were so comfortable to talk to me, so comfortable to bring me over. When we added each other on Facebook, we were so comfortable flirting back and forth. But then comes to our first date, when we went to go get frozen yogurt, you couldn't even look at me.
I was so nervous.
You were like literally looking down the whole time. I'm like, so, I don't even, because like the big thing I think about is how like you just were not looking at me the whole time. And I'm like, literally, like, I am bombing this date. I'm like, she is not into me.
I told you that the reason why I was like that was because I was very nervous, because at that point, I did not go on dates. I don't think I had ever been on an actual date like that. And so it was very like nerve-wracking for me. And then too, like, ladies, listen to this. How would you react? And how like my cheeks hurt from smiling so much in the past 5 minutes, but how would you feel? So he literally sitting there, and I think at one point I asked him like why he's staring at me, or like if he's looking at me or something like that, and like he literally responds with, because you're so beautiful. And I'm like,
Jesus,
I was like, nobody's ever said that like to me before.
Was I really that cheesy?
Oh, did you mean it?
I mean, obviously I did. If I said it.
But yeah, I was just very like out of my zone, because when I left, I was just like extremely happy. I remember I called my friend. I was like, oh my God, I was like, I really like him.
Yeah, but on the other hand, in my mind, I'm over here like,
well, that's you. That's a you problem. You thought about it wrong.
Okay, because I'm like, literally, she's not talking to me. She's not even looking at me. She probably doesn't want to look at me because she probably thinks I'm hideous.
No.
And, she's probably like, who's this ogre that's taking me out for yogurt? And I probably, like, well, yeah, see, when I, like, go on, like, things around people I'm not comfortable with, I probably barely ate yogurt. So I'm like, leaving hungry and defeated. I'm like, because then let's not forget, right before we left, because we went in separate vehicles, right? Did we meet up there? Yeah, okay. And I
just got off work, and remember the place was right next to where we were.
That's what it was. Okay, so I was like, hey, I got a gift for you, and I got you. I was at Hot Topic that day, that morning of or the day before, and I got a Jurassic Park shirt because I knew you liked Jurassic Park. We were talking about it, so I got you a Jurassic Park shirt, and I literally give it to you, and your response is, "I already have this shirt," and I was like, "All
I
right,
didn't know it was
all right, that's cool." It's another one.
But hey. What the fuck are we doing here?
Like,
No.
literally, that is my brain. I'm like, she doesn't look at me. She's not talking to me. She literally responds with, "I already have this shirt." I'm like, hey, what the fuck are we doing here?
Oh my gosh. No.
Oh,
I still remember
gosh.
that day. It was...
I drove away thinking like, wow. You messed that one up, Vinny.
No.
You know?
Obviously you didn't.
Oh, I know. Fast forward to now, you're having my baby.
Yeah. Also, yeah, now that you bring that up, excuse my appearance because I literally feel bad. I'm 8.5 months pregnant, so I hope you can forgibe me
No, you're
for my
fine.
ugliness.
No. What? No.
I'm talking to the audience.
No. They don't think that either. If we do, you get the knuckle sandwich. No, I'm just kidding. Can't say things like that nowadays. People take you seriously.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Now you know how we met.
Yeah, that's cool. That was a cool question. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
But reflecting on like even the relationship episode, I do like to get, we should do that. Just sprinkle more little personal things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like our baby shower. We didn't really talk about that much.
No, we
Baby
didn't.
shower was good, beautiful, awesome baby shower. Nice baby shower.
On a golf course?
On a golf course, yeah, it was really nice. A lot of family came out. Really awesome.
We were really blessed with a lot.
Yeah,
A lot of gifts and necessities and stuff. So that was a really big plus.
Yeah, it was great. But at the end of the day, this is this show, so we're gonna talk about the funny aspects, and that it's good to know we have no real life friends that
Literally.
that attended.
Yeah.
That skipped the invite.
Yep.
That's all right. It is what it is.
Wasted postage.
Wasted
I'm just kidding.
Postage.
I'm just kidding. That's
Well,
too
I'm
harsh.
just, it's just,
But-
yeah. It's just, I mean, I don't hold it against him. I guess it is what it
No.
is at the end of the day. But it's like, don't be that person like that never even called. Like you told him there's people you even told you were pregnant. I told you were pregnant and haven't checked or asked one time. But which is fine. You don't have to. It's you. Everyone lives in their own world. You don't have to. But then don't be that person that's like, oh, when am I gonna see the baby? But what?
Yeah.
No,
I'm
we'll
sorry.
see my
What?
child.
Yeah. No, that's not how this is gonna work.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out like how to word this, like, because I don't want to sound too harsh, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. Let me put it.
We
in
can move on from that because I think we said enough that we need to say we're.
I would like to add that I'm just gonna put in perspective that if the roles were reversed.
Exactly. If those reverse, I don't want to fucking go to a baby shower, so that's why I don't blame them.
Okay, that's you. But if the roles were reversed and it was one of my, friends that are girls, I'd be there and I'd check up on them.
Oh yeah, girls is different.
Girls are different.
Dudes, it's like I do like my friend friend of the show, been on the show. Like literally, it just happened to line up that it was literally his son's birthday on that day. So that I completely understood.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have been. He would have been there.
The exception, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. You cut this out if you want, but don't tell me you're not gonna come due to an excuse, I should say, and then I'd be seeing you on social media doing other stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. That just really hurt me. Like I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad about it. I'm more like disappointed and hurt.
Well, I don't think that person will see or hear this. So I think we're fine.
I think we're fine.
We keep it in there.
I just had to.
That's just funny.
I just had to because that's literally been bothering me. Like here we are going on 3.5, 4 weeks since the baby shower, and it still bugs me to this minute.
Damn.
So.
Well, I mean, see, it's like, yeah, we don't want to sound like we're complaining and things like that. But then at the end of the day, like, I think, like, why not just say it? Because there's going to be people that resonate with us, at least. Or, don't feel alone and stuff like that. That's why podcasts are important, people. But no, so that was good. I don't know. Do you want to keep that in?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right.
Yeah.
We can move on to something else. Do we have any more we want to talk about? Well, how far along?
Yeah, I am 8.5 months pregnant, so everyone just needs to be
You already
Everyone.
said that. You look fine. You ready? I know what you're gonna say. You look fine. No, you're fine.
Okay. But just to, like, I guess we're gonna be taking a hiatus.
We're gonna try maybe
Not very long, I
at
hope.
most if we take a hiatus. I want to try to catch up on clips and stuff.
Right.
But it's just
It's getting close, people.
yeah, it is, and
It's gone by so fast. Too.
Yeah, we don't know. We've never been parents. We never had a baby, and we don't know how much time she's gonna take up, which is probably all of it. We're gonna be so tired, so we're gonna try to get back on track as soon as possible. I say no more than a week, and then if I can, best case scenario is we still can come out weekly, but you might have to deal with old me for a few episodes. Just me talking about to the camera into the abyss about my inner weird depressive thoughts.
Jesus.
So you might have to deal with that for a few weeks, people. So
Oh God. But
yeah, what else you want to talk about?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we'll reflect on it more when we know it's most likely our last episode.
Yeah.
Before.
I don't know if we should get into our personal stuff in the beginning of the show or like at the end of the show, because at the end of the show it's like a given. If people like the show, they're gonna be listening to that.
Right.
I think we maybe just lost a lot of listeners is what I'm saying.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I'd hope not.
I gotta stop being so hard on myself.
I know, you're just like, yeah. I think that's what it is you're too hard on yourself.
I'm just like...
You criticize yourself too much, and it's okay. People like real rawness. So.
All right, you want to get into some Titanic?
Yes, the
crazy
Titanic.
Facts?
I've been really excited about this. Not like... I mean, it's actually a sad situation, but...
What?
I just like...
Oh, yeah. From April 15th, 1912, 111 years, as you said, the Titanic sank and claimed the lives of over 1,500 people, which there was approximately 2,224 on board, which 706 survived. And I believe that did my mic just go deeper? That was weird. Did you hear that?
I don't think so.
Anyway, I believe when the rescue ship got to the Titanic, besides the people that left in lifeboats, there was literally 4 survivors. Yeah, still at the point of everyone else frozen, dead. There was 4 survivors still clinging on to rows doors and shit.
That's
everyone
luck.
else left in lifeboats, but yeah,
that's luck.
Yeah, they were presumed to be fattier people. Had the body fat to survive or give their body some warmth. You want to start with the first crazy fact?
Yes, first crazy fact. So, Milton Hershey, the inventor of Hershey's chocolate, wrote a $300 check to reserve his room on the Titanic for that very trip, but business got in the way, and he and his wife were unable to go.
How lucky are the Hershey?
Oh man, can you imagine?
Yeah, can you imagine? Would there be no Hershey? Would there be no Hershey chocolate? There's a universe right now where he got on the Titanic and it sank, and there's no Hershey's chocolate. I mean, there would have still been Hershey's if he already made it then, but would have it expanded without him as big as it is today?
That's a really good what'd you say, other galaxy or other
the universe?
Other
universe where he
universe.
got on the Titanic and it sank, and there's no Hershey's
chocolates. Can you imagine?
And all the stuff that it made, the Mars bars and all that.
Yeah. I don't know. That's really crazy. But yeah, can you imagine the thoughts that went through his head too? What if we did go?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're always gonna think that. What if?
That's
crazy.
It is so crazy.
The chief baker Charles Drunglin. What's his name?
I think it's just Hofflin or something.
Oh.
Or Jofflin.
Jofflin. Terrible. States afloat on water.
Wait, I think hold on. The chief baker Charles Jofflin stated that he was afloat on water.
You typed that. I didn't read that wrong. You typed that.
I know.
What if we were talking like Joe Biden?
We'll get to that. Claims that he stayed afloat on water for 2 hours before he was found. Also claims that it was due to the amount of whiskey he had in his body that basically kept him warm from the freezing temperatures of the water.
Wow. Yeah, see, he was one of the 4. I think he was one of the 4. Because he technically sank with the ship, but he was alive. So he was one of the 4 survivors. Yeah, that was the guy that he's actually in the Titanic movie. You can see him briefly throwing chairs out the window, and you see him just chugging whiskey. He was the guy that right as the Titanic started sinking, he just started drinking like crazy, and that's why he was able to survive, because he was just fucking chugging whiskey all night till it sank.
At least we know what to do if we're ever on a ship that's
Right,
sinking.
it's sinking, frozen. Just
Yeah.
fucking just drink so much whiskey until your body's just so hot, it just warms you.
But then what happens when you're super drunk?
Right.
I bet that's a trip.
Yeah. I bet with the adrenaline and survival instincts taking over, it probably just balances out.
That's very
You're
true.
just like, oh.
You probably don't feel it. Oh, I bet when he freaking got rescued and woke up the next morning.
Oh, talking about
God.
the hangover.
He probably had a hangover for years.
Yeah, probably had to have like an IV drip or something with that.
In 1912?
Well, yeah, I think they had something, right?
I don't know.
Put some leeches on him. I think it's like 1700s. Port management had binoculars locked up, so the lookouts didn't have them. So that's basically how they couldn't see. They could have saw the iceberg from further away, but the binoculars were locked up, and the guys in the crow's nest didn't have them. You would think there would just be a pair, or the case would be in the crow's nest too.
Yeah.
So you can have binoculars at all times.
And like really, like binoculars, they like how much space was it actually going to take up? That you couldn't just have a couple lying around.
Right.
Man, they literally did everything wrong.
Right. And this the freaking ship line that made the Titanic, I think it's called like Star Lines or something. That made the Titanic. They've had other ships that sank too. Not nowhere as of a spectacle, I guess, as the Titanic.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe they just suck at building ships and managing them.
I think so. There's one actually that can piggyback off of this that I didn't write down, but I remember when I was looking more into this, and it was the fact that multiple alerts had gone out the day before about possible icebergs in the water, and they were all ignored.
No.
Yeah.
That's I mean, yeah. I said no, but
I know,
yeah.
I was like very confused.
I mean, no. Like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Because I was already thinking of a second thought. Now that just freaking now I forgot the thought I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
No, but yeah, that's why they probably ignored them, because they were like, oh no, it's a Titanic, it's the fastest, it's the most powerful, it's a sinkable ship. They even said, advertised that Poseidon himself couldn't sink this ship. So I guess they thought they knew what they were doing, and then the captain was like the celebrity's captain. Like, he's been the captain to like all the famous ships that have had all the famous people on it over the time. So he was probably a little cocky. That he's like, no, that's like for them rookies talking about them icebergs. Oh, I'm fine. And then it's great. Poseidon can't sink it, and Poseidon just barely stuck his little toe out, and there goes the iceberg.
Poseidon's toe.
Poseidon's toe is the iceberg that sank the Titanic.
Oh god, it's freaking hilarious.
You want to read this next one?
So only 23 of the 908 crew members were female. Of the 23, only 3 didn't survive.
Wow.
While of the 885 male members, 693 did not survive.
Jesus.
Do you think that was just because they like managed to put more women on boats than they did men? Or do you think it was just because women
Wait, that's crew members. There was more women than 23 on the Titanic. That was just 23 crew members.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way. I guess I was just...
Oh.
I was correcting myself on my own head.
No, yeah.
But,
no, yeah, it's just the crew members. Only 23 were female. So that's goes
I guess they
back
still
to what
honored
I was...
them, yeah.
So that's just what I was saying. Like, do you think it was because that females ended up first on the lifeboats? Or do you think it was just because that females had a better, like, instinct to survive?
Oh, it depends how they survived. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if 20 survived, then yeah, they were on lifeboats. Yeah, the men crew, probably when it became the cruise time for any of the crew members to get on lifeboats, they probably told the women to get on first, because a lot of crew members still were the main like the captain and the main I guess deck of the ship. They're the ones that like realized they messed up and wanted to go down with the ship, or had to go down with the ship. I mean, or else you're seen as a coward,
Right.
which we'll get into that with somebody. But the crew, I guess, still had that option. Like, you can get some you can get in some lifeboats if you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it depends, because all crew was basically third class, right?
Basically, I would think so.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think that you would have some.
Maybe they threw them like 1 or 2 lifeboats.
Unless like some of the crew was some of the third class crew were like the coal the coal guys.
Yeah, because like those guys, I'm pretty sure they it's like just like in the movie, they really did like just close the door and was like, "You guys figure it out."
Literally.
So a lot of them actually wanted though. They still wanted to die on the ship. They knew it was over, so they're like, "Nah, take my chances, just going down."
Yeah, especially in this scenario that you're in, it's just like, yeah, what else can you do?
Yeah, and especially all the chaos going on. You have the telephone game going on where women and they were saying women and children and lower away. Talking specifically about a specific section of light boats. Women and children lower away, and all the guys are like, what's going on? What's going on? I think he said women and children only, and everyone's like, women and children only. What? And then chaos.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, can you imagine that? Yeah, you don't know. So it's like we can think about these things like, why do they do this or why did a lot of it is probably just fight or flight. You know, there was probably people in the crew jumping on lifeboats. It wasn't probably as simple as like, oh, you want to go? Oh, you go ahead. You go. It was chaos.
There was no time to waste.
Yeah, as much as we want to think about it as like in the movies, it was more chaotic and more pandemonium than that.
Yeah. And I feel like the more that these people freaked out, like the worse it got.
Oh yes.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, and it was, was getting dark. It was, they're trying to play music loud. They're trying to shoot fireworks in the sky. Like, a lot of chaos going on.
Like, why?
Yeah, so the ship was actually able to carry 64 lifeboats. But for some reason, which we'll explain the reason here shortly, as we said,
we know it.
That one, and we already said something else. Something about poor management or something. But yeah, basically it all boils down to one guy. We're going to get to it at the end.
We're saving the best for last.
Yeah, so you're supposed to or could have 64 lifeboats, but ended up having 20 on board. You want to read this next one?
Yeah. So this was actually crazy. An optical illusion may have prevented spotting the iceberg in time. According to historian Tom Malton, atmospheric conditions the night the ship sank caused super refraction, which basically camouflaged the iceberg, explaining why the iceberg wasn't spotted until it was too close.
And then by the time it was too close, they couldn't do nothing.
They couldn't do nothing because did you know too that not even a full minute passed by the time that they spotted the iceberg to the time that it collided with the boat. It was about 37 seconds approximately. Like, so literally no time to even think.
What could you do at that point? Yeah, because they barely tried to turn, but the turn itself is what caused it to like weaken and I think end up ripping the hull because they said it didn't rip directly into it, but it weakened it, and then that's what caused like the holes to start busting out.
And then the size of the iceberg, like apparently it's
a mountain. Yeah,
it was basically a mountain. Yeah, it was about I think it was like 100 feet. From the base, so not counting what was under the water,
which is probably another 100 feet that way.
Exactly, right. So just from the surface of the water up was about 100 feet already.
Yeah,
so
Poseidon's toe, like we said.
Poseidon's toe.
Poseidon's toe. It's like Titanic. And there's theories that if they would have hit it head on, that if they possibly would have managed. But I think if even just turning it, weakened the hull, I think hitting it head on would have maybe damage the front. But that's the thing, they might have survived it because the Titanic too, it literally had things, they literally thought of every way that it would sink, and they tried to prevent that. So even if it hit it head on and it made a big hole or something in the front of the ship, they still had like things where they could shut off walls where they can cut off the water, and it would be airtight. So if they did that, they would just drop one of those walls down and the water would just get into the front of the ship, and then they probably would stall them for probably days, but they'd be able to maybe patch it, have another boat, it wouldn't sink before by the time they could fix it and have another actual boat come and survive, or come and help the survivors. But
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, the fact that it went to the side of the ship under the water line, it was like doomed from the start. Like like I said, the crew and a lot of the captain, everyone knew we fucked up. We're going down. We're done with the ship.
Yeah, I can imagine the thoughts of like, we should have done this and should have done this, going over and over.
Should listen to those calls about the iceberg.
Literally, they tried to warn us.
Yeah, yeah. And what was some of the food on this ship?
Oh, I know, that'd be interesting. So first of all, in 2015, the ship's last copy of the first class lunch menu, literally dated from the day before, April 14th, sold in an online auction for $88,000.
That's whoa.
For I mean, I would say a piece of paper, but
I mean,
that's pretty
how
legit.
did they get that from underwater? Or did someone have it on them? Like, where'd they get it from?
You know what? I should have figured that out because
Right?
I'm
How
curious.
did you yeah.
Did they preserve
It's all a
this?
reprint.
Did they dry it out?
It's a fossil from under the ocean.
No, it has to be the original.
Yeah, luncheon.
Yeah.
The one is called the old luncheon.
So there it is.
What is that?
What's a cocky leaky?
The cocky leaky. Somebody's last meal was the cocky leaky.
Oh God!
And of course, this varied, which I like to get into because the food thing does interest me. But this varies from class to class.
So this
was the
class.
first class menu.
Yeah. So I guess you got like a little appetizer there.
Yeah, first class got any unique, fancy item that you can think of. You know, just because they're first class with the same ingredients. It's amazing how they had a lot of the same, just a lot of basic ingredients on the Titanic, but it's like first class got the fancier dishes of those ingredients, and
right.
but you get to third class, it's all basics of that ingredient. But anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Right. So, I guess just a couple things. Looks like you got a little appetizer. Looks like you got to choose from the grill. I wouldn't even know how to read this.
Grilled mutton chops, mashed. Yeah, it was like the way they talked back then too. Grilled mutton chops, mashed, fried, and baked jacket potatoes. Custard pudding and apple merengue. And then a pastry. And then the buffet had salmon mayonnaise, potted shrimps. What is it? Norwegian anchovies. Ooh. What is that? Spruce herring?
Soused herrings,
Soused
roast
herring?
beef, spiced beef, veal and ham pie,
What?
bologna sausage,
Virginia and Cumberland ham.
Okay, you lost
bologna
me
sausage.
at the corned ox tongue.
Ox tongue and sausage.
And is that supposed to be a salad? Lettuce, beetroot, and tomatoes?
And does that one? Why does it just say cheese in bold? You just have cheese.
No, because those are types of cheeses underneath: Cheshire, Gorgonzola,
whoa,
and cheddar.
Whoa, filets of brill, egg, la Maryland, chicken a la Maryland.
You would think reading a menu you'd get hungry, but this is actually making me lose my appetite.
Yes, it's crazy. I gotta pull this up here.
Oh yeah.
Guys, I didn't feel like typing this out after I wrote it all out. Hey guys, we finally used the remarkable for something, you know? We talked about this a few episodes ago. Yeah, so what we got here. So other types of food. So this is just crazy to think about from class to class. For example, ice cream. First class got French ice cream on some days, and second class had to stick with old American ice cream. Third class got nothing. Third class didn't get no ice cream. They got ice.
Ice.
They got ice, no cream. Hold the cream. 86 cream. So we had eggs. Like I said, we saw the fancy egg a la ratatouille right here. They got all types of eggs in first class, and then second class got a fried eggs and ham kind of like scrambled dish, and then third class just got like fried ham with just a little sunny side up egg on top. So like I said, same ingredients, but just like, especially second and third class, same ingredients, but just prepared way less like they cared.
And third,
just to show you're in third class.
Second and third class is supposed to be like the boring food, but shit, if that's the food in the second and third class, that's where I want to be. You know what I mean?
Well, until you get later down this list, we'll see about that. Because third class, too, you got to think third class was like, the real like people that could barely afford to get on, and it was steerage, so like crew members too. So that technically was considered a third class, I believe.
Yeah.
As much research as we've done.
Yeah.
But no,
we weren't there, people.
Yeah, we weren't there, people. Yeah, I like that. I just basically repeated what you said. That's what I do when I like something. I just repeat it right away.
Yeah.
Anyway, fish. First class, of course, got all the shrimp, the oysters, salmon, herring, sardines, whatever you want. Second class, herring and baked haddock. Third class got just fried herring and nothing else. And I wish I would have pulled up a picture of it. It's literally just like the fish just fried. Like
I've seen that.
The head and all, tail and everything.
With
you gotta open it and figure it out yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Jam, of course, first class, all types of jelly, marmalade, honey, all they want. Second class got wine, marmalade, and the third class just got basic plum ham or plum marmalade or plum jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oats and cereal. If you were actually in first class, you got the good old Quaker Oats. They had Quaker Oats back then.
That's
And in
legit.
first class, you got all the Quaker Oats and popped rice you want. Second class, you got the basic oats. And then third class got the dried corn, which is basically like the Captain Crunch cereal. Which is not bad, too. You're right. Maybe not bad for third class. Like you said, maybe the jam. I don't mind the jam, so I'll be in third class. Fish. Yeah, I ain't going to eat that smoked herring. So
No.
at least bump me up to second class for the fish. You're right. Eggs, I don't mind. Ice cream, yeah, that's what I mean. I'll get American ice cream. Maybe second class is the way to go. The Titanic.
Yep, right in the middle.
Grapes. If you're in first class, you actually got to get the fancy wine or the fancy grape scissors.
To cut it from the vine?
To cut it from the vine. That's what I was going to say, wine. I was going to say vine. I said wine. Yeah, to cut it from the vine. And, it's not a little damage your little precious first-class hands. Of course, if you're in second class, you had to pull the grapes by hand. But, of course, all classes, even third class, got to have access to, like, basic fruits and stuff. I think fruits and, like, bread, you basically, like, were the main things, and crackers were, like, or it was a type of bread that was like a cracker. It was, like, kind of all you can eat. You can have at any time, or, regardless of your class. But you got different versions of the fruit. Like, for third class, didn't you basically got, I think it was either apples or apricots. You got one or the other. You had options. Oranges, third class to get oranges. Second class got to have oranges. And of course, if you're in the first class, you got to have all the bananas and oranges and stuff you wanted. I don't even think there was bananas on there.
Right?
No, they were too exotic. If they did, they were exclusively for first class. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say something like, I was thinking still back on the grape thing, and like something as simple as like back then it's just so terrible. Like something as simple as serving your own grapes. They found a way to make it like a poor version.
Right? That's what I mean.
What the?
Some things it's like they literally just did it just to prove what class you're in.
Yes.
Like literally the eggs dishes for second class and third class are exact same, but they literally made it shittier for third class just to prove you're in third class. Like they literally made the same bread for first class and third class, but yet if you're in first class you got it in the fancy French loaf version. If you're in third class you just got like just clumped together rolls. But it's like literally the same bread.
And like, see, like they did this back in the day thinking like, oh, like they were proving a point this way. This is how people will be able to stand out from the poor people. But it's like, I'm pretty sure celebrities nowadays, pick up their own grapes just like we do at the grocery store, and
right, they were like a whole nother level. Yeah, they thought they were, karma people. No, I'm just kidding. No, but pudding, of course, first class, all the pudding and tapiocas you want. Second class, basic plum pudding. And third class, you only got rice pudding. A lot of potatoes, breaded potatoes. Like I said on the ship, we already kind of talked about that. Soups, all the soup you want. First class, pea soup for second class, and rice soup for third class. Meat, this is interesting. Meat, you got all the lamb, beef, mutton chops, filet mignon, kidneys, bacon, and ham you want. Second class, you got roast beef with ox tongue and sausage. You get to get some, at least eat some chicken and turkey and some lamb with mutton. Third class, you got roast beef with gravy, fried tripe, which is fried intestine, or corned beef hash.
Man, see, I feel like I'd be the type on the ship that's like, when it comes to lunch, I'd be like, can I just choose a little bit from each menu?
Right? Because
there's some that I'm like, ugh, and some that I'm like, I can deal with that. Like the pudding, I'm good with the good old snack pack.
Right? And mind you, not all of this was every day. Like, this was, like, within the menus.
Right.
So, yeah, one day you just had, like, fish and pudding for lunch. You'd have a fried herring and pudding. Rice pudding. Could you eat that?
No, I would not. You couldn't pay me to eat that.
To close off, some notable people that were on the Titanic, and we'll get to the old coward himself. No, I'm just kidding. So John Jacob Astor was the richest man on the Titanic.
John Jacob Astor.
Astor. What was that quote from him? Can you read that?
He states, "The ladies have to go first. Get in the lifeboat to please me. Goodbye, dearie. I'll see you later." So
he was actually on a honeymoon with his wife, who was pregnant at the time of the sinking of the Titanic, which was crazy. They had I guess he got his wife pregnant. They had the old shotgun wedding. And then, they were celebrating their honeymoon on the Titanic. And then what a way to end the honeymoon. So he was the richest. He was a property mogul. richest man on the Titanic. Of course, like you said, it went down. His wife and daughter survived. And when he died, they actually said when they found his body, they recovered $2,440 on him, which I looked up what that would be worth today, and it would be about a little over $63,000. So my guy died with a bag on him. You know what I mean? That's how you go down, sinking in the Titanic with a wad of cash.
Oh my gosh. And his wife and daughter were just like, oh, like, we don't want to leave you. And then they were like, oh,
Well,
we'll
the
be
daughter
all
was
right.
in the belly. She was pregnant.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Mhm.
so the wife,
Mhm.
oh my God, I'll miss you, but we'll be all right.
Yeah, they got his money
Financially.
at the end of the day.
Yeah. But that is sad.
So Kathy Bates, I mean Margaret Brown.
Have you seen the Titanic movie?
Yeah. So what does it say? Yeah. So she was the one that tried to go back and like help people, right?
Right, yeah. Famous for taking control of lifeboat when the crew in charge of that particular lifeboat refused to go back to look for survivors of fear of being pulled down.
Yeah. And then
To the
everyone was
ship.
all frozen and dead.
All right, well, Vinny's making coffee over there. We can move on to the next person on this list. Benjamin Guggenheim. What kind of last name is that? Guggenheim. Famous for not only having his mistress with him on the ship, but also going to the first class smoking room with his valet and awaiting death like a gentleman. At the last minute? No, so I guess he's just notable for taking his death or what? I don't get it.
No, that's basically it. He had a mistress on him, and then he took another chick in a room and was basically banging her while the ship went down. That's what they're implying.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we had Captain Edward John Smith.
It looks just like the guy that played him.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, just like the Kathy Bates girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so of course, he was the millionaire's captain, and he went down with the millionaire ship, the Titanic.
I think it's because deep down he knew that he fucked up.
Yeah. Isadora and Ada Strauss, I think they were the co-owners of Macy's department store.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
famous for the co-owners of Macy's department store with his brother, and she said the famous line, "Wherever you go, I go," because she didn't want to be separated from her husband.
Aw.
Did they end up dying on the ship? I think they did,
Yeah,
right?
they did.
Yeah, I think because I think they're the couple that they were symbolizing in the movie. Whenever they're panning and you're seeing everyone sinking on the ship, and you see a
And they're
couple
laying in bed
holding each other
together.
in bed. Yeah, that's supposed to symbolize that was them too.
That'd be us.
Oh,
wouldn't leave
yeah,
you.
that would be. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thomas Andrews. He was a famous reporter, famous for being the designer of the Titanic. He was last seen by Stewart looking for Plymouth. What?
A painting of Plymouth.
Oh, painting of Plymouth.
So was he on the ship?
I think so.
Oh.
Did I say he was? I thought he was a reporter, but they said he was a designer of the Titanic. What does this quote say? The press is calling these ships unsinkable. I may say, what is that?
The press is calling these ships unsinkable, and Ismay's leading the chorus. It's just not true. Oh, so he knew that the coward guy was a sham before.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it seems
Called
like.
him out.
Yeah.
What's this one right here?
Lady Duff Gordon. Lady Duff Gordon. Famous for being a top fashion designer and was the first English designer to achieve international renown. Interesting.
Okay.
Lady Countess. Famous for helping to steer the lifeboat she was in to safety, and was given a plaque from the lifeboat by the crew member in charge, representing the number.
Okay.
She basically just saved some people.
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
Melvina Dean.
The oldest is
Wow, famous for being the youngest survivor
right
and the last remaining survivor.
Wow,
She
she
passed
died
away in 2009.
at the age of 97.
At 97.
The oldest survivor of the Titanic.
Wow, she's so sweet. Look at her.
Wow, and then shout out to the violinist band that went down playing the hits of the time with the ship. Shout out to these men.
Oh my God. And their quote, "Gentlemen, it has been a privilege playing with you tonight."
Man.
Oh yeah, look, there they are.
Violinist.
With the chaos.
Somebody started playing the violin when the sink was sinking. Would you be upset?
I would
You're
be
like,
like, what the
fuck
fuck
are you
are
doing?
you doing? Get to
Oh.
freaking safety.
And then to top it all off, we got Mr. Ismay himself, which, of course, if you're not familiar with the Titanic, they even portrayed him as a little snake in the movie. Bruce Ismay was the leading businessman of the Titanic. See my notes here. He was a chairman and director, basically, marketing advisor as well of the Titanic. One of the ones, advertising it's the biggest ship. It's the fastest ship. It's unsinkable. Because you gotta remember when the Titanic was made, they had just retired the the Titanic was a sister ship of the Olympic. They had just retired the Olympic when they built the Titanic. So they already had the Olympic that was just as big as the Titanic. There was just the Titanic was gonna be a little bit bigger and it was faster and it could tow like a couple 100 pounds more. So it was like really not that big of a spectacle at first. It was really less buzz around it because people were like, we kind of already seen this. This is just iPhone 14, iPhone 14s. Like we already saw this.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until after the Titanic sank that it got all that buzz. But yeah, he was the one, like we talked about earlier, foreshadowed. Callback, like we talked about the lifeboats earlier, they could have 60 something lifeboats on there. They technically did have 48 lifeboats on it, but apparently this guy which you're advertising the haul, it can haul more, it can take more weight. This guy wanted to take some lifeboats off. There's theories they say it was because of weight. There's theories they say it's because he himself thought it was an eyesore and didn't like how it looked. It looked ugly, so they're like, let's take off more lifeboats. The regulations only say we only need 16. Let's keep 20 to say we're doing something extra good. So, yeah, bad call from the start.
From the start, this guy
took out more than half of the lifeboats just because you think it's an eyesore when that mustache is what's the real eyesore here. And so you would think, okay, bad call.
Yeah.
At least he went down with the ship, right? No.
Yeah. At
Mr.
least he took some responsibility.
Let's take away the lifeboats. One of the first things he did when the ship started sinking was jump into a lifeboat and save his ass. Thought he could become a survivor and write this amazing story, this amazing book. That's why you might have heard of him, how he survived the Titanic. Turns out, of course, once you start doing research, and there was even parts of his book that didn't line up with other survivors' story, so he just became a coward. Like he's became known as like the coward of the Titanic because it's like, yeah, you go down like I know who knows how things would happen nowadays. That's all I'm gonna say. But back then, it's like you were a man, you went down with the ship. Can
you imagine how fabricated his book is?
Yeah, I would like to read it.
I wouldn't, because I'd be like, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
Right? Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, so he, I guess, there's stories of what happened to him after, he went into a depression and just, the closest relative or closest person that knew him, that talked to him, just said he was never the same after that. So it's like, they said like he was a survivor, like he survived, but he didn't like live on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because he became like just an empty shell of himself. Well, it's like, yeah, you basically just stayed a coward.
Yeah.
He
chose the win-lose situation, which was when you save yourself, if anything, it's very, what's the word? Like when you only think about yourself. Very
selfish.
Very selfish of you. Yeah. So basically the win was that he survived and got to see another day, unlike all these other people that didn't. And then the lose was that your life freaking sucked after that. So
yeah, like I understand like the fight or flight takes over, and like in that moment like you're really scared and you really don't want to feel like you don't want to die, but I can understand that for a normal passenger. But for somebody who was the director of the Titanic, and
who claims to know everything,
yes, and actually was responsible for the reason why there could have been so many more survivors as if it wasn't for this call, you would think, yeah, you go down with the ship.
What a loser.
Yeah. Oh, little brother, get this guy out of here. What a barnacle head. But yeah, so fun stuff talking about the old Titanic.
I know.
Yeah. Now, to transition into real reactions, talk about some crazy or watch something crazy here. So a lot of people think that's the thing when the Titanic went down. Like in the movie, you see all the lights and stuff. It was actually really dark. So here's a video of what it actually looked like. So this is what, simulation here. And there was no cameraman on the iceberg, save that, people. That's how it really was. Can you imagine? This is why they say a lot of people didn't even know the ship had sank. because it was so dark.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's literally such a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they didn't even portray that. They put more light like in the movie.
Oh, well, yeah, of course you got to do it for that. But I would think too, like, damn, was it really that pitch black? Like no stars at all? There was no moonlight.
Right.
So it's like, who really knows if we weren't really there? But if it was really that dark, but that lines up. But like I said with the story, how a lot of people didn't realize this ship was even sunk because it was so dark.
Oh,
I'm sure they had flashlights and stuff and flares, but like
maybe that's why they were doing the fireworks and stuff.
Yeah, and they were trying to alert like anybody or anything in the vicinity, that, like what that they were there.
Yeah, they had whistles as seen in the movie.
Yeah, it's like what's the first second?
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really crazy.
Transition some real reactions here. Now, is this the guy that we saw at the subway? I might have to cut out this song, but this is the same guy that we saw in the subway video taking ladies' food. This guy is a menace. Look what he's up to now. What's going on? But for the record, this is not his fault. Oh.
I bet that hurt. There he is with the same half pant.
The same half pant. This poor guy.
This is the same guy that, if y'all watched Real Reactions from a couple of episodes back, he was actually last seen stealing food from a woman on the subway and just, like, dashing.
Yeah.
And so now you see, for the audio listeners, this same homeless guy in the subway. This guy walks up and attempts to just mess with him, it seems like, and he gets very upset and tackles him into the train tracks.
But for the record, when he took that lady's food, he literally she was eating right in front of him, and he was asking her for some food, and she said no, so that's why he got mad and took it. Right now, he's literally sitting there minding his own business, and this guy just comes up to him and rubs his head, and that's when he attacks him.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing wrong with this guy. He's just minding his own business, trying to survive out here in the subway streets, and people keep messing with them, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, is he a menace, or is the world a menace to him? Ooh, think about that, people.
I don't know. I think he picks and chooses.
Right?
Definitely in the first video we saw with the lady.
You don't have to tackle him through the freaking subway tracks.
With the lady and the lunch situation, that was pretty bad on his part. But no, this 100%, I understand. Like, he's just trying to just mind his own business.
Sounds like a Netflix special, The Lady and the Lunch. No, but yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, this is one of those things that, like, if we were in the spot too, like, I would want to track this guy down and find him and help him.
Yeah.
But then he'd probably just end up doing some crazy shit. Yeah. What else we got?
Are you done drawing over there?
Oh, you need this?
No.
Oh, I'm just doodling. Might as well be sketching the cube.
Yeah.
Office reference again. I don't even know if we can show this. Might have to blur out this. We have to blur out this monkey's wiener because this monkey is sexually flashing this lady at the zoo.
He won't stop. That's freaking hilarious.
Oh
yeah, you
God.
might need to briefly blur that, but that's just too freaking funny.
Yeah, this reminds me when I was at the zoo first grade. That happened. A baboon started jerking it in front of us, all our kids, and I remember my mom was there.
Yes,
and she covered
your
my
mom
eyes.
chaperoned, right?
Yeah, she was the old
told me that
chaperone.
story.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy. Yeah, like another thing is, did we watch this one?
Yeah, Subway guy.
Okay, yeah, we don't like to get too political on this podcast, people. Try not to get political, but this is just hilarious.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused. I haven't, look, I have trouble even saying to myself my own head the number of years. I no more think of myself as being as old as I am than fly.
How would you say your mental focus is?
So not focused.
Which
Not
focus?
focused. That's how I think I sound when I talk.
I think I just lost a couple brain cells.
I don't think it's not more in my head than fly. That's literally how I talk.
Oh, God. That's just too... I don't even know what to say. I don't want to get political.
Right? Oh. Look how lucky this guy got. This guy's sitting on a tailgate of a truck outside of a shop, it looks like, and a car just comes and crashes into the truck, luckily or barely misses him, but literally the truck goes flying and
The way
the laws
that-
of motion,
Yeah.
the truck and the car are gone. And he literally,
That
it's like
is-
he levitated for a second. Look at that. He freaking levitated for a second.
He is freaking floating.
That is some luck.
Oh. Man, I'm surprised the truck didn't even take his toe or nothing.
Oh, even his freaking chanclas stayed in the same spot.
Oh my god, that's impressive. Wait.
Literally, that's so lucky. And the caption says, "When it's not your time." That's so crazy.
It's very true.
He looked like he was kind of limping a little bit, so I'm sure he felt some impact.
You think on his feet or something?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get a chopped cheese, but do it the Aki way.
I was gonna say, what's he gonna do?
That's not the Aki. Yeah, it's like
It
another,
looks just like it.
Yeah, like another store, like what do they call it? Like a bodega.
Yeah.
And,
oh no, you know what? I think this guy's a little jealous because according to the location on this video, he is also in New York.
Yeah, that's why like
Where
when he said, "Let me
ramen
get it the
is.
Aki way," he's like, "Man, get the fuck out of here."
Yeah,
If you're
you
not
know
familiar
yeah.
with the Aki, yeah, just or the Aki way, just look it up on TikTok.
Raw-
Sure.
raw money. is
First, we
his,
put the customer on the grill. Then we hide from the health inspector.
the
I love the
comments
comments
kill
on
me.
those videos.
The comments kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know this guy's just a little jelly.
The old jelly trying to start the beef with the
I think,
Aki.
yeah, he wants to be the Aki way.
Spring is here, people. Look at this tree releasing pollen. I didn't know there could be that much pollen on a tree. Like when they say like there's high pollen, I'm like, where does the like? I know pollen comes from trees, but like,
Where does it go?
how is it enough to really like fuck up my allergies this bad? This is why. Like, what? I've never seen so much pollen in a tree.
That's like
It's like a science.
that's like
It just
a
shows in science classes.
it's like
Crazy.
a person with allergies' biggest nightmare.
Yeah, you would have to move immediately. Jesus.
Oh god, no, that's too much.
I'll say this one last.
Oh.
Okay. I'll do this
It's
one.
up
'cause
to you.
yours okay, how's yours? Yours is good because that one's pretty. This one's we got one good one here,
Okay,
people.
fine.
What's this? A paramedic was caught on camera pocketing $60 or 60-pound from a 94-year-old woman home moments after she collapsed. Dang, son.
And basically realizes he's on camera and immediately
Oh my god.
he's like, "Oh, I didn't just do that."
And he probably ripped off the camera or something, but he still.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's so cringy. He literally.
So
knew.
so you see this paramedic
That's like-
walking into the room,
S-
spotting
instant
the money on the
justice.
the dresser, pocketing it, looking up and realizing, "Oh, I'm being filmed."
We probably did not think this old lady had a camera in her house.
The cringiest part is he pulls it out of his pocket and pretends like he's like rustling through something on the dresser, and then immediately looks up at the camera again. Like
Immediately
what?
looks up and looks like he's walking towards the camera.
Like what?
Wow. That's so like.
And a
cringy,
94-year-old woman
Yes.
who
it's-
just died.
Yeah, he lost his job for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and he should have just. You might as well just kept that in his pocket. You're gonna lose your fucking job anyway, dude.
you need it.
You need
You need it,
now.
Mr. Mark Titley.
Wow, man. How many, man? There's just, like I said before in this podcast not too long ago, there's going to be bad apples in every bunch no matter what profession you get into. That's crazy. But you're right. A 94-year-old woman, like, what?
He had no shame.
Yeah, no shame at all. Dang. You know, what's the world going to be like in 10 years when all the doctors that we have in 10 years use Chat GPT to, GPT to pass medical exams? Our doctors have been cheating with AI.
Yeah, AI does their homework.
Yeah, and they're gonna be the same doctors they're helping us in 10 years. They'll be like, no cap, you got bronchitis.
Oh god, it's hilarious. Okay, last one. No, she was like totally unfazed. He just
He
literally flew right by her.
So these is a drunk. They look like they're at least in their 60s, mid to, or I would say late to early 60s.
Yeah.
Going upstairs, like around stairways of this house, and
Can
they're all
barely
drunk,
make it
stumbling.
upstairs.
This guy's literally almost to the top of the stairs and literally flies down, and like, you're right, he literally flies over her or misses her.
And she doesn't even move. Like, she doesn't even realize what's happened
Wow.
yet. If it went on, I'd like to see
Like, he
how
broke
long
something.
it took. Oh, yeah. For his age and for how far high up he was already. Why couldn't he just keep going? Like, what? Poor grandpa.
Oh.
Poor grandpa.
Oh, man.
That was actually really crazy.
Yeah. And I can't even play that song. Drunk love. God, that song's so annoying.
I know. It's so overplayed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I'm annoying. It's like, what?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good episode.
A great Titanic app. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you're still hanging out with us right now. And I've been doodling this whole time. When I doodle, I just like to make random circles. Yeah. So for y'all that want to know, this is what I've been working on this episode. Hope you enjoy it. My art for the episode. Be putting on it on what is it, eBay or Etsy here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Here, I can do the old eraser. The eraser. There you go. This is our next t-shirt design. There you go, people. Buy the shirt, CayVin.com.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding. How's your stomach? You okay?
Yeah.
Is it time yet?
No.
You having contractions? You out of break? What's going on?
No.
We don't know if this might be the last episode before. We're hoping to have at
don't
least
know.
one or two more
We don't
before.
know.
Yeah. We're hoping to have one or two more episodes, but this might be the last one. What do you think?
I know I'm starting to get uncomfortable, so
Why?
just from sitting in this position.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant talking about it.
No.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, people. We love you. Check us out, Caylin. They're hitting our music. What's the word of the day or phrase of the day?
Our phrase of the day. I don't know.
Or advice of the day? I
Um,
only have 6 seconds when I say hit the music. I gotta make the music longer.
I know.
You know?
I don't know.
The way the template works. I say to hit the music, you got 6 seconds to say something.
Well, see, if you
And
had
then-
told me that before.
They're hitting our music.
Okay. Remember the Titanic, people. Hey everyone, if you like that video, make sure you hit like and subscribe down below for more. And also make sure, if you are not already, to follow us on your favorite social media platforms at CayVin Universe.
Oh, yes. And, of course, to further support us, hit up CayVin.com for all our info and merchandise right there at CayVin.com. And then you can also hit up our Patreon, patreon.com/CayVin Universe. Get all our bonus content and episodes for $1 a month. We appreciate your love and support. So, yeah, have a great one.
Bye.